The College Basketball Experience MEAC Basketball Conference Preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just added pick'em scorchers where you can win 100 times what you put in. That's right, turn 5 into 500 in just one game. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Use the promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting research platform for parlays, props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets or visit hofbets.com. Promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Plus, the NBA is back. Load management's back. And so is the NBA Gambling Podcast. So get over there and celebrate by getting a NBA Gambling Podcast hoodie. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Dog for all details today. Yes. Woo-wee. Welcome to the College Basketball Experience MEAC style. If you're wondering who you're listening to, I am Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. And, we got a good one here tonight. Go check out the Mac. We just did the Mac over there. Pick Dundee, myself, and this guy right here. He's joining. He's in on the doubleheader. He's driving a LeBaron there in the upstate of New York outside of Eastern Michigan's campus. He is Noah Beanick, a.k.a. 77. What's up, man? I know you're sweating out a little bit of World Series potential right there.
Yeah, Mac. How we doing today? Yeah, we're currently recording this Tuesday night. We got the ninth inning, bottom of the ninth. D-backs, Phils. D-backs currently up 4-2. And if that if that score stays the same, if you listen to the MLB Gambling Podcast and you took one of the sleeper long shots that either I or Malcolm gave out to win the World Series this year, you have hedged on both sides. I think we have a 60-1 in the running in the D-backs and a 75-1 World Series tickets that were placed in the preseason from the show, the MLB Gambling Podcast.
No doubt. So in other words, you and Malcolm are in with the books. You did not have the chalky favorites. You did not have the Phillies. You did not have the Astros. You guys are sitting there with the books, with the tickets right there. Yeah, get over there. Subscribe to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Now that's a good win for the show right there. If we can get these last two outs.
Yes, 100%. Very live, very, very live.
Speaking of very live, the MEAC is very, very alive. All right, Noah, let me ask your outlook on this season, because the MEAC's always an unknown, and I think with the transfer portal, not so much NIL. The NIL in the MEAC is not as active as it is at the Power Five, but with the portal, junior college, I feel like it's always active with these 8 programs. What is your outlook on this MEAC coming into the year? These, by the way, I will say these teams get screwed because they literally play 10 straight road games every single year to start their year. So basically, at best case scenario, you're starting your year going into conference play like 2-12.
They make a lot of money for their athletic programs.
They do make a lot of money, which they need.
Yeah. But a lot of these teams that this season, they're bare bones compared to years past. They lose quite a bit all over the board. Like even Howard, who won the league last year, they're going from the hunters to the hunted, and they don't have close to what they had last year. So it's going to be interesting on that side of the ball. And JUCO ranks definitely the recruiting side of it. If we had like a TCE mole guy, this would be a much easier conference to handicap. That's for sure.
Indeed, it is. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's quit wasting the time and let's talk. First up in the MEAC, we got the Delaware State Hornets.
No,
And
isn't it? Is it
oh yeah, my
Coppin
bad. It's
State?
Coppin State. I
Coppin
skipped
State.
one. Well, they both. I mean, out goes Juan Dixon. In comes Larry Stewart. They finished 9-23 overall, 4-10. In MEAC play. They play at the Physical Education Complex, so make sure you bring your bring your volleyball or bring your kickball so
There you go.
get in there at gym class. Sam Sessoms averaged 20.5 points a game. I remember him. There was every now and then I tried to back this team. It usually didn't go so well. Nendon Tark out, Mike Hood out, Justin Steers out, Cameron Blue out. All right, then basically they got a whole new roster because in comes Zahir Harrison, transfer from St. Francis, Pennsylvania. DeQuan Copeland, a transfer from Morgan State. Oh, here we go with the inside conference transfers. Darian Prescott, cousin of Dak Prescott, just kidding. Transfer from FIU there. Toto Fagambenelli, another one.
This ain't Kansas anymore.
Yeah, another one from Morgan State. Ryan Archie, freshman. Don Ferguson, freshman. Khalil Horton, freshman. Priest Ryan, freshman. Arir Jones, freshman. And Noah's celebrating because the Diamondbacks are headed to the World Series to meet the Texas Rangers. Shout out to you and Malcolm. All right, Noah. Is the Coppin State Eagles going to go on a magical MEAC run like the Arizona Diamondbacks are?
I don't think so. Larry Stewart returns to his alma mater, and I think it's a feel-good story here in the MEAC because he's a first-time head coach, and this roster has full rebuild written all over it. The Eagles, they lose their star Sam Sessoms, and the roster includes 7 freshmen. It's going to be an uphill climb this year for the Eagles.
It is going to be uphill battle for these Eagles. And you mentioned, I forgot their nickname for a second. Larry Stewart, you mentioned it. He did play at Coppin State from 1988 to 1991. I mean, no, what's an optimistic expectation for this group? Because I know we're both going to say this is probably going to be the last place team in the league. Maybe they could get up to 5 or 6.
Win more games than you did last year. They only won 4 games in conference, 9 total. If you can get the double-digit wins or win 5 games, not have double-digit conference losses, that's probably a good season.
Yes, and if you want to look at the analytics, the advanced analytics, don't do it. It'll hurt your eyes because they weren't very good. 9-23, like you said, 4-10. Who did they upset? They upset JMU, double overtime, right before Christmas. I remember that game.
Patty C.
Yes. Honestly, we need to make a mental note, though, on the show, Noah. The week before Christmas and the week after Thanksgiving, was prime big upset week because
that's when we started those big dog parlays, the round robins.
Yes. And the main reason is, and just going through it, there's distractions during that where you got Thanksgiving, the holiday, kids are traveling in and out. The teams that are on the road, it favors them because they're together, less expectations compared to the teams at home that are just worried about what they're going to do for Thanksgiving, seeing their family. And then Christmas time.
You're right, too. And the students are away from they're back home, too.
Yes,
there's no student section, or at least it's lesser than usual.
Yeah, and on the Christmas side of things, these kids are worried about catching their flight so that they can go see their family for 3 to 4 days. And most importantly, there's no home atmospheres. Even like the crazy atmospheres like Kansas and Duke, if you look in the crowds those nights, they still it's definitely a wine and cheese version of Kansas and Duke. So we're going to make a mental note. Christmas, week before Christmas, we're going to take these big-ass dogs because nothing's going to make sense that week. And then the week after Thanksgiving, obviously Feast Week is a different animal because those are all neutral site showcase games. But coming off that, a lot of distractions. We're gonna fade some of these big favorites. So I got that in my mental notes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I know you say wine and cheese crowd. I hate to admit it, but I went to It was Michigan against Virginia last year, and it was during Thanksgiving weekend, and
Michigan covered.
Building was a little empty.
Yeah, no. What was that? The first Monday after Thanksgiving?
I think so.
Yeah, it's not the same atmosphere. So we got that written down. All right, next up is who I was talking about, the Delaware State Hornets, and well, they sucked ass too. They were 6-24, 4-10 in MEAC play. Stan Waterman over at the Memorial Hall in his third season. They actually retained most of their roster. So Okoye Parker is out. Ron Lucas is out. They bring in 4 freshmen. But for the most part, I mean, they finish the year strong. I kind of think this team may actually take a little bit of a step here, Noah. Is this crazy to think this?
Maybe. I mean, they've got 8 total wins in the last 2 full seasons.
Yeah, can't go nothing but up.
The only player for the Hornets that exits the fold is Okoye Parker.
Yep.
He was their 3rd leading scorer from last year. 4 of the projected starting 5 played at least 20 minutes from a season ago, with their 2 leading scorers being Martaz Robinson, their point guard, and Brand Stone, their big man. The point guard Robinson actually averaged 5.5 rebounds last year, 12 points 12 points per game in 30 minutes. It was actually more boards per game than Stone, their big man, who averaged 5.1 with 11 points in 23 minutes per game. Outside of those two, I think the offense lacks some shooting, like around the. I think those are the 2 most important positions that you would want experience, that you would want talent, that you want skill at. And I think they'll be fine. I think they need somebody to step up in the middle here. They were ranked 7th out of 8 in shooting percentage last season in the MEAC, but defensively they're grindy. They grabbed the most rebounds in the conference last year. In 2023, Delaware State finished tied for last. They finished last in 2022 as well. So this year, I do think the Hornets, they take a step forward, but I don't know how forward they go.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good news is the rest of the league isn't very good, and the rest of the league, kind of like you said, Noah, like is bare and bones. I mean, these the lower you go in these mid-major conferences, the more they just get depleted. So basically, if you're worth anything, you're going to be jumping just because the NIL collective is so limited at these schools. And then obviously, we just did the MAC. The MAC gets depleted by the high major, so the MAC depletes like the MEACs and the SWACs and the NEC. I almost said the NEAC because we're saying MEAC, SWAC, and all these names. So,
the MAC and the MAC that we've done in the last
MAAC. There's a lot of MAC, MEAC. I don't know.
You haven't mentioned it yet, but I know you love this court with the honeycomb pattern.
Absolutely disgusting. Right, they're probably finished last just by default. Absolutely disgusting.
He went from they're taking a step
stupid
forward.
Ass.
No, they're finishing the last.
Maybe they'll finish ahead of Coppin. That's
no wonder why they shot so bad last year. They're distracted by their court.
No doubt. All right, I gotta get us paid before we move on in this great MEAC conference because we're brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. A way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. Underdog has introduced Scorchers by simply going 5 for 5 and pick 'em Scorchers and enjoy a nice spicy 100 times payout. And for a limited time, Underdog is extending the first deposit bonus up to $500. $100,000 Sundays continue on Underdog Fantasy. 10 lucky players can win $10,000 each. So watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little bit of cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, UnderdogFantasy.com. And when you use that promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by the NBA Underdog Fantasy or NBA Underdog Contest. Can't talk. Because this filthy league is back. NBA is back. Celebrate. We're giving away an NBA Gambling Podcast hoodie. And I'm serious. Those guys over at the NBA Gambling Podcast do a great job. They got to handicap and break down all these soft asses that sit out every other night for load management, whatever the hell that made-up term is. So get over there and support that show. They're doing the best they can to give you an edge. You don't know who's going to sit out. You don't know whose fingernails going to be bent the wrong way that morning, and boom, you're out for 2 to 3 weeks. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA dog. Submit a screenshot on NBA Underdog promo code SGPN. And one random winner will get a NBA Gambling Podcast hoodie. Just go over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA dog. All righty, we're back on the NBA, or not on the NBA Gambling Podcast. I just read that ad 3 straight times. Never on the NBA Gambling Podcast. They do a good job though over there. I like those guys. All right, let's move along. Next up on the slate. No, do we have the Howard Bison?
Yes, that's correct.
That's who I'm seeing. I'm seeing the Howard Bison. I mean, Kenny Blakeney in his 4th year was the magical year, got to the dance, had the vice president in attendance at Burr Arena. I mean, they had the magic going there last year. Elijah Hawkins, Steve Settle, Jordan Wood, Kobe Dixon, all out. That's about, 35, 36 points of production. Incoming in Don Campbell, transfer from Notre Dame. What the hell's going on? Seth Towns from Ohio State. When did Howard become a juggernaut all of a sudden?
Blakeney does well. He does well in the recruiting.
He does do well. Isaiah Warfield from Liberty. Jordan Harrison from UT Tyler. UT Tyler, that's an underrated school right there. Like you said, Blakeney kind of got this place on the map. Finally got to the dance. I kind of think they might be able to get back there. I mean, talent-wise, they got the best team in the league.
100%. They only returned 41.5% of their minutes from last season. They do have the 3rd youngest team in the MEAC, according to Torvik. But the first thing that –
Real quick, what year is Seth Townsend? I just completely went over my head. I was thinking about that as I was looking at the roster. Going, wait a minute, Seth Towns from Ohio State, the one that started at Harvard. I mean, how old is he?
25.
Now? Yes. Oh my God. I was like, is this the same Seth Towns? Dude, yes, it is.
So he took a break during COVID. So he only played. So he played 2016, 2017.
Might be a fake.
2019, 2020, he didn't play. And then he came back for 2020, 21. But then he didn't play last year either. He didn't play 2022 or 23. He's like skipped a couple of years here.
His freshman year at Harvard was the same year I went to the Final Four at South Carolina. In that time, I've gone to Austin Peay for 2 years. I went to West Virginia for 3 years. I was out of the business for another year, and here the fuck I am this year. That's 7 goddamn years. How is he eligible?
Well, he's only played 3 seasons.
Oh, what is this? BYU Bison over here? I mean, what's going on?
Either that, or they actually didn't waive his transfer, like they're doing with a lot of kids this year.
Is there any way he finishes the year?
Oh, you're saying healthy?
Yeah, he hasn't played in 3 years.
I don't know. That's not for me to answer.
All right, sorry.
Rob Donaldson goes, he went on a mission trip elevator.
Yeah, I mean, goddamn, that's where he should have went. He would have fit right in at BYU. Sorry, I cut you off there because I was just like, wait a minute. I remember Seth Towns from Harvard, and that was like 7 fucking years ago. Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah. So they're the 3rd youngest team in the MEAC, according to Torvik. They only returned 41.5% of their minutes from last year. The first thing on this roster that catches my eye is the young 2 sophomore front court. And inexperienced at that too. So the backcourt, I mean, you have a graduate senior in Jelani Williams, and then Marcus Dockery and Bryce Harris are both juniors. Neither one of those are real big or good track histories either. It's a really inexperienced Howard squad. And Shai Odom, he was a freshman last year. He's going to play the 4. He averaged 11 minutes last year. they're a young team, and you would have to be banking on talent to predict them to win the conference. Which, personally, like I know that a lot of the top tier programs in America, you can bank on a couple of the freshman recruits to come in, step in right away, and contribute and make it a contender in a conference. Howard is levels above other teams in this conference, which maybe I have to use that philosophy a little bit. But on paper, this is not a roster that I love. And Garrett Winkler, I knew I was probably going to get some kind of remark for it. The hat that I'm wearing actually is not a Purdue hat. It was my baseball hat when I played college baseball for Point Park behind me. I got the flag right there behind my head. So yeah, I'm blocking it. I know, but yeah, Rob Donaldson goes, the young roster featuring a 30-year-old ARP.
Oh, amen. I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't know how he's
like he's projected to be on the bench. So,
real quick, I knew that there was they were doing something with the HBCU schools. They play Cincinnati at home this year.
Nice.
Cincinnati comes to them. So I know there's been an effort to play the high major games to give these HBCU teams some spotlights. I know what's his name, Mike Bray at Notre Dame did it a couple years ago. So really interesting. So
for Howard, this is actually not normal. They're only favored in 3 non-conference games the entire slate. So I take that back, 5, because they played 2 non-D1s. So could be a rough start for the Vikings.
Oh yeah, it'll be a rough start for everybody in this league. It always is, but
but
it's all about growing.
They're one of the better teams. They're one of the better ones.
Yeah, so they'll go 3-10 compared to 1-11. I mean, these schools just get beat up. I mean, it's a miracle if they ever win.
So last year they beat Buffalo, Austin Peay, FIU, Harvard, Mount St. Mary's.
Yeah, they were loaded last year.
I mean,
yeah.
They won 6 or 7 non-conference games.
This year they got Seth Towns and Magic Johnson on the team. Seeing if he's got some eligibility left.
I think they kept it close with George Washington. Is that President's Day, November 11th last year? That one, I remember watching that one. That was a close game. I think I had Howard there, and they only lost by VCU. They only lost by 10 to VCU too. Like they're a good program. To only be favored in 3 D1 non-conference games. That's a shock.
Well, and Blakeney took over. They were like 4-29 his first year, and then they didn't even play the COVID year, which is freaking ridiculous. All right, let's go along though. Let's keep this show moving. Maryland Eastern Shores next up on the dock. They had a good year last year.
Did you do that on purpose? Was that a what in the world do you call it? God damn it. Eastern Shore and Doc. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't.
Am I giving you too much credit?
You're giving me too much credit. I didn't even know what the fuck I said. Maryland Eastern Shore had a Princess and Maryland. I've been there before. I mean, 18-13, 9-5, tied for third in the MEAC last year. They lose a shitload though.
They do.
Like everybody. Kevin Voyles, 13 points a game. Zion Styles is out. Deshaun Phillip out. Nathaniel Pollard out. Ahmad Fafana. Great last name out. Don Chevelle Nugent is out. So by my calculation, that's about 50 to 60 points a game. Incoming in. We got don't worry, we got Damani Claxton transfer from Bossier Parish. How about that? Elijah Wilson from Toledo. Kalachi Akorji from Austin Peay, the Governors.
That was a good try. Good attempt at that.
Akawarju. He's a governor. I like him. Devin Ellis from the State Fair. How about that? He's down there at the Red River Shootout a couple
There you go.
Ago. Tyler Mack from Henry Ford. Malang Effian from Cloud Community College. Israel Yah from Brooklyn College. Antoine Wilson is a freshman coming in. Interesting team. I mean, this was an historic year. I mean, this team, this was as good a year as this program has ever had.
Tied for third in the conference. Historic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been fucking ass forever. Crafton did a great job last year. I mean, won 5 games just a couple years ago. He's built it up kind of like Blakeney over at Howard, but you got to kind of think they'll take a little bit of a step back with the talent departure.
For sure. I mean, how do you even judge this team? They lost all 5 of their starters, and only one player averaged more than 11 minutes last year. Only one of these players on the projected starting 5 averaged more than 11 minutes last year. Actually, it might not even – it might not – it's their entire roster. Only one player averaged more than 11 minutes last year. So – and that's Chase Davis. He averaged 7.5 points. He was a good shooter, too. 37.5% from behind the arc. 43% total. This one's a stumper because I want to get behind Crafton because he's already proven us wrong once. I mean, we probably had him in the basement last year, and they were actually a team that they were covering quite a bit of games last year. So that they were one of my darlings. I remember that for sure. But they lose a lot of production, man. I don't know how.
Crafton had a losing record at Nyack College. He was 47 and 108 from 2012 to 2018. How did he get this job off that? That's a Division II school.
He knew somebody.
That's in the CACC conference.
Oh, good Lord.
I mean, hey, but I mean, 5 and 27. Then they canceled that year. Stupid as hell. I'll keep saying that forever and ever. 11 and 16 or 2 years ago, and then 18 and 13. They're building over there in Eastern Shore, Maryland, but they're going to take a step back this year.
They're rebuilding.
I mean, it couldn't get any worse from where they came.
TV DBJ says he's got blackmail.
He must. I honestly, but
holy shit! How did this guy get a D1 job?
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I'm saying. I all the guys that I know in the business that have paid their dues, I'm like, this guy was a 30% winning percentage at Nyack College. I mean, how the hell did he get this job? But hey,
sounds like you're throwing up when you say that.
Well, but you know what? He shut me up last year because who did he beat? He beat Temple. He beat Temple on the road. And I knew they were going to start winning when they beat Bryn Athyn to start the year. That's when I knew they were getting right. They got right against Bryn Athyn 90-40. Oh my God. I can't wait on November 5th when we're previewing fucking Maryland Northeastern Shore against Clark Summit. Clark Summit's coming in. They're a live dog that night.
All right, so we're gonna walk through this conference, I think, together, team by team. Coppin State's last. Delaware State's taking a step up. Maryland Eastern Shore is taking a step back. Yeah. I would put Maryland Eastern Shore behind Delaware State, right?
Probably. What about Clark Summit? Where do we put them?
And we have Howard on top of those 4 currently, correct? All right, let's do it like that for this show. I mean, like, holy moly.
What are you talking about? I spent hours and hours breaking down this great MEAC conference.
After every team, we need to rerun the rankings. You got to type it into your model. You gotta get that going.
You know what? Well, let's move over to another team that I actually think runs a decent program.
I'm just saying, like, after this one, we'll do the top 5 rankings and then the top 6. That way they can say, hey, they're in the top 5.
This is a college experience. This is a college experience. There's no freaking order in this league. Let me tell you something. Morgan State runs a good program. Kevin Brodus in his 5th year there. He's a former Maryland assistant. God, he loses a lot, though. They were disappointing last year, but they were a live dog in multiple games. I remember that. Malik Miller out, 18 points a game. Isaiah Burke, 19 points a game. So he loses 36 points right there. Khalil Turner's out. Lewis Jajokum is out. Incoming for this team. Oh, God. Colby would love this guy. Winston Tabbs from East Carolina. That's pathetic for you, sir, that you went to Morgan State.
I'll say it for him. He's got championship in his DNA, even though.
Yeah. Miles Thompson from St. Francis. Alan Udamodo, transfer from Florida Southwest State. Yeah, ma'am. They're turning my lights off during this goddamn show. It just went out. What the hell's going on? Career Oliver from Indian Hills. Christian Oliver from East Los Angeles. What the hell? Daniel Akadobi from Santa Monica College. I don't know why I said that.
That one's not special. Just say Santa Monica.
It sounded good. Xavier Valley from Cali College. Well, good luck trying to figure out this. I just got done hyping up Kevin Brodus there. They were live dog. They almost beat Kelly LePepe. They should have won that game. I had them on the money line with Colby. They always get talent. I mean, we just mentioned it. They lose multiple guys that average 20 points a game. I don't know. Top 3 team in the MEAC. Top 3 team in the MEAC. Bold prediction. Is that even bold?
No. It might be bold. They lose 4 of their top 5 scorers from a season ago. What's going on? Morgan State.
Checking my lights.
They're one of the youngest teams in the MEAC, the 3rd youngest. And for me personally, you've gotten an experienced starting 5. A couple of them are juniors, a couple of them are seniors. The bench, not many of them played D1. So I
welcome to the MEAC, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know how to handicap a lot of this. So, dude, Morgan State is one of the better programs in the MEAC. I'll go with that. I'll bet on culture. I'll take a page out of your book. I'm willing to put a little bit more confidence in the Bears and Brodus.
Yeah.
Finishing in the middle of the pack. Going through the teams that we've covered now.
The problem with Brodus,
I think they're better than Coppin State and Maryland Eastern Shore. Would you say they're better than Delaware
I agree.
State?
And Brodus has been there, done that. I mean, he took Binghamton, the golf course, to the NCAA tournament in 2009. I mean, so he's had good teams, and I feel like they were a live dog in that first round. I forget who they played. Maybe it was like Villanova when Jay Wright was struggling to get out of the first round for all those years. But, I mean, you look at what he's done at Morgan State. They literally been 500 basically every year outside of the COVID year. Why did they play and nobody else played in the league? Maybe they were independent like Chicago State. But, I mean, they finished kind of 4th, middle of the pack every year. I think they get over the hump a little bit this year, finish in the top 3, maybe even 2.
So you were saying Morgan State played in 2021?
Yeah, they were good that year.
So they played that year. They played Delaware State 4 times.
They had no wonder they're found their way. Well, hey, did they play West Virginia Tech that year?
Yeah, they did. They lost.
Yeah, I know. My buddy was the head coach there. He got him on the money line. James Long. He was a walk-on at West Virginia. Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah. So
they went up there to Baltimore and got the big dub.
They played Delaware State 4 times. They went 3-1. They played Coppin State 4 times. They went 3-1. They played Norfolk State 4 times. They went 1-3. They beat James Madison. They beat Delaware. They beat Iona.
What the hell's going on in this world?
And then there was a MEAC tournament where Florida A&M popped in there all of a sudden that they hadn't played all season long.
Oh, you gotta love the MEAC, the Wild Wild West, baby.
So I think this team's 3rd. I would put Howard, Delaware State, Morgan State, Maryland Eastern Shore, Coppin State.
You're
Is
more
that how you
organized
had
than
it?
I am. Yeah, something like that. I'm not revealing my hand until the end, but I'll tell you where you should reveal your hand. That's over at Hall of Fame Bets.
Nice transition.
Yeah, I know. I'm a pro at this. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player prop, game lines, by researching every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical data. Enter any parlay into the Hall of Fame Bets Revolutionary Parlay Optimizer tool so they can break down each and every leg so you know which legs are going to come through for you and which ones don't. So stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft a more intelligent, data-driven parlay. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app, hofbets.com, promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All righty, back on the college basketball experience. Almost said the Big 12 that time. Mixing and matching. All right, let's go along to our next team in this beautiful league we call the MEAC. Next up, we got who do we got next? North Carolina
State.
Central or
it is NC Central.
Yeah, I was going to say which one comes first in the alphabet. I mean, this one's actually
it would technically be Norfolk State, NORF instead of.
It depends
NORT,
if you say NC Central,
which I did type NC Central. So
let's go with Central because I know Central a little bit better. Lavelle Moton, everybody knows Lavelle Moton, 15th season, good coach,
a darling last year,
always in the hunt. McClendon, Jim over there in Durham, North Carolina. Shout out to NC Nick. Oh, they lose a bunch. Justin Wright's out. Eric Boone's out. Brendan Medley-Bacon's out. Making the bacon, 12 points a game. Chris Monroe's out. Marquis Maltzy's out. Dan Oladapo's out. Devin Butts is out. I mean, that's a lot. But they got some bodies coming in. I mean, they got Guy Fauntleroy from Austin P. He's a governor. I mean, how many governors transferred to the MEAC? That's like the third one already. Emmanuel Isambor from High Point. Shout out to Tubby Smith. Brock Williams from High Point as well. Wait, what's going on right now? Is there a member on High Point staff that came over as an assistant coach to Lavelle Moton? Perry Smith.
High Point, they were bad last year.
They were bad.
I don't know if you want what High Point had last year.
Perry Smith from Vermont.
There's a good program get.
Yeah, that's culture. Automatic first place. Keyshawn Porter, he's from Cape Fear. Cape Fear. That's
and still the fear in the MEAC.
Poba Joy or whatever, King from Harcum. Alubi. I'm not even Jinjimbe Alubi from Utah Eastern. Kyle Dixon from Grayson College. Xavier Ball. Xavier Ball is from John A. Logan. That's a good junior college, actually, in the state of Illinois. Yeah. I know that program well. Kobe Hardaway from the State of College of Florida. Holy JUCO route for NC Central, the Eagles.
The all-name team is going to have Po Boy King on it at the end of the preview season.
You got to back this team. I mean, Lavelle Mode, culture play. I'm not overthinking it. I can't tell you about John A. Logan and those guys coming in, but I can tell you Lavelle Moden's going to get the most out of them. That's what he's done there. It's his 15th year. I mean, in his 15 years there, he's 129-50 in the MEAC. How can you not back him?
2 seniors, 2 juniors in this projected starting 5. They actually have a couple of pieces on the bench, which we haven't seen that yet in this conference. Fred Cleveland shot 36.5% from 3 last year. He's a senior. And the big man grabbed 5.5 rebounds in 19 minutes last year as well. And Emmanuel Izunabor out of High Point. So Zunabor. As I'm walking through this, just for my own health, I would put NC Central over everybody but Howard. So I have it Howard, NC Central, Delaware State, Morgan State, Coppin State.
All right. I got you. It makes sense. I don't think that I don't think it's that bold. But do you have them over the Norfolk State Spartans? Spartans were great last year, 22-11, 9-5 in the MEAC. This will be part of my Commonwealth tour this year. I'm gonna go check out the Spartans, get eyes on those guys. Them and Hampton always play a good game. Robert Jones in his 11th season. He was not there when they knocked off Missouri. God, why am I drawing a blank on his name? The guy that left for FIU, Anthony Evans, and then Robert Jones took over the program the next year. So he's been there. He's Norfolk State in and out. Looking up, he's been there since 2007. So I mean, he's been there. They have a good culture there. They do lose a lot. Joe Bryant, 18 points a game. Chris Bankson, 15 points a game. Dana Tate, 10 points a game. Kaim Brown, 11 points a game. Good transfers coming in, though, man. Jamari Thomas from Wilmington. Alan Betrant from Ryder, the moving company. Khalil Mading from Buffalo. Tyrell Bladen from Ryder. Oh, they took the dolly right up there to Jersey and said, come on down to the Virginia Beach. Let's go. Right down I-95. They probably hit fucking traffic for half the goddamn route. Demand Tate from Boston University. Jelani, Darden from Longwood. Everybody likes Longwood. Jordan Leaks from Phoebus High School. That's right there. So you can tell which campuses are in a decent, I mean, Norfolk isn't the nicest area, but they're at least in a Virginia Beach area. So you can see why this culture's been pretty good under Robert Jones, Norfolk State. They've beat Missouri in the past. They've been to the NCAA tournament. They're the front runner to win it for a reason. I kind of think they're gonna win it again.
Me too. I think this is the best roster that you can find in the MEAC. I mean, They've got...
There's not much competition.
They've got 8 seniors on the squad, 5 juniors. This has definitely got to be the most experienced roster they are by far in the MEAC. They also returned the most minutes from last year outside of Delaware State. A couple of bright spots on this team. Christian Ings, he returns from last year. He was their number 2 guard, 37% from 3. He was a 61% shooter, played 25 and a half minutes last year, averaged 10 points. I mean, they lose their top 4 scorers from last season. His role is going to expand, and he was efficient last year. I think he's going to be one of the better players in the conference. I like the experience on this team. This team is definitely, they're better than Howard for me. So I'm going to have Norfolk State, Howard, NC Central, Morgan State, Delaware State, Maryland Eastern Shore, Coppin State. That's my top 7.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's go over to the finale, and let's go to my team, baby. Let's go to the South Carolina State Bulldogs, baby. Emart, Eric Martin, in his second year, former assistant coach for Bob Huggins at West Virginia, worked with Emart for a decade of my tenure there. He's in his second season. Obviously, last year was brutal, 5-26. He loses a lot. Rakeem Gary, LaShawn Halamus, Justin Wilson, Cameron Jones, Rashad Edwards, DJ Bates. But it's like I always say, every losing team's got to have a leading score. So when you go 5-26 and you lose your whole team, it's really not a loss. So in comes Emart's going to juke it up because Emart, once upon a time, was a junior college transfer with the likes of Nick Van Exel for Bob Huggins in 1991 for the Cincinnati Bearcats that went to the Final Four and Elite Eight. So he's going to juke it up. That's what he's going to do. That's what he knows. And I think he's going to be successful. I think this team is going to be a lot better than what people are going to think. Michael Teal, Caleb McCarty, Drayden Jones, James Murrow, and Mitchell Taylor. So here's the thing, like that gets an asterisk in year number 1 for Emart. He got the job in mid-July. It was an impossible situation it was a miracle that they even won 5 games, to be honest. And then fast forward to the schedule, Noah. I mean, the schedule that they played,
they had a brutal schedule,
was absolutely ridiculous. South Carolina, Duquesne, Kentucky, Wake Forest, Western Kentucky.
They beat
Texas
East Carolina.
They did beat East Carolina. I forgot they beat East Carolina on the money line. Furman, who went to the round of 32. Winthrop was good. Asheville was good. They almost beat Asheville.
They should have beat South Carolina, Rob Donaldson. They should have.
They should have.
I forget how they lost that game, but I think they led it for like 29 minutes.
When did they play South Carolina?
For some reason, that number comes to mind.
They're going to beat South Carolina this year. They don't play South Carolina. Cowards. And Frank Martin's not there anymore. Lamont Paris, he's going down this year again. I think this seems to be better, man. I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna trust Emart. I mean, he's a hugs guy. It's gonna take him to get some of the guys that he needed to get out. He had to keep some guys because he got the team in mid-July. He had to play some guys from the previous regime. Now it's his team. I think middle of the pack, man. I think this team will make the biggest jump from where they were. I mean, they were in the basement for obvious reasons, but I think they're much better than the teams at the bottom of the league that we already talked about in Coppin, Delaware State, and Maryland Eastern Shore.
Yeah, you got to back your guy. This team loses a lot, but so did 6 other teams in this conference. Imagine you have a stick of cheese or a stick of butter or whatever, and you take a knife and you take off 3 tablespoons. That 3 tablespoons, they're gone. The next 5 step up because there actually is a little bit of continuity on this team. There's 2 juniors and a senior that are returning. Raquan Brown played 21 and a half minutes last year, 8.5 points per game, and he shot pretty well, 37% from beyond the arc. New point guard, that's a big question mark. Center, 9.5 minutes only last year. Another little bit of a question mark there. But Davion Everett's not a bad piece. 6 rebounds, 6.5 points last game and 21 minutes per game last season. So South Carolina State, I'm gonna transition into my final rankings here, and you can think of yours. And
I'm writing it down. Let's go.
So I've got Norfolk State winning the conference. I got Howard in second. I have did I have Morgan? I had Morgan State third. I have Delaware State. No, I'm going to put I have to put South Carolina State fourth. I have South Carolina State fourth. I have Delaware State fifth. I have
where'd you put Morgan?
Morgan was fourth. It was Norfolk 1. I skipped NC Central. Shit.
Yeah.
So Norfolk's 1, Howard's 2, NC Central's 3, Morgan State's 4th. So that again, I missed somebody. We're getting to South Carolina State's 5th. Yes, this is the way it goes. Delaware State's 6th, Maryland Eastern Shore 7th, Coppin State 8th. MEAC. That's my rankings, baby. Let's go. Sparty on. I hate that.
All right.
Why did I say that?
I also got Norfolk winning the regular season. I got NC Central in the 2-hole with Lavelle Moden. Howard at number 3. Emart in the South Carolina State Bulldogs at number 4. Morgan State at number 5. Eastern Shore at 6. Coppin State 7. Delaware State in that filthy court in the dead basement of the MEAC.
He went from, I think they're going to take a step up.
They took a step right back when they get the conference play. I see that quarterback, fade, get the hell out. All right, who wins the league? Who wins the tournament?
I don't think I'm going to get cute with this. Just give me Norfolk State.
What's the last time Lavelle Moden's won it? It's been a minute. I think it was before COVID. He has not been to the NCAA tournament since 2019. Give me Lavelle Moden and NC Central to get done. They upset Norfolk State. I mean, it's going to be those 2 teams, I think. I know Howard's got the talent, but I mean...
I think there's 3 good teams. I think it's those top 3. And then SC State's going to finish in the top 5. I think Morgan State's going to be up there. I don't see Do you see Coppin State, Delaware State, Maryland Eastern Shore, or any of those three climbing into the top 5.
You said Eastern Shore, Compensating, Delaware State.
Yeah. Can any of those get outside of the basement?
Maybe Eastern Shore, just because they actually proved it last year, and they have a lot unknown. I mean, I guess my guy from Yak College, he could get it. He could strike lightning strikes twice at Yak. But no, I'm not backing any of this. God, I can't wait to fade all these schools in the month of November.
Yeah. And of course,
Lay it.
I mean, of course, I'm just eating so much chalk here because Norfolk State's plus 150.
They're the best team.
Yeah. So you had them winning the regular season?
Yeah, and I went Lavelle Moden to win the conference. So I don't know. So
yeah.
All right, man. That'll do it from the MEAC. What does it stand for? Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference College Basketball, baby.
Nailed it.
Yeah, man. I mean, even when you're talking MEAC, it's such a great time. The season's what, 12 days away now? 12?
No.
Yeah. 11 from tomorrow. Actually, it's 11 because it's midnight Eastern. So, holy shit, we're here, baby.
I think we got. Man. So we have 11 days till tip.
Yep.
10 days till first pick show, and I think we've got 12 conferences left to hit. So we're going to be doing a couple of double headers here.
Yep. Yeah, and you'll get a couple with just Noah and I because Colby's obviously tied up in football, so he'll be back. He'll be back for the big ones.
Football, and he's moving out. So
yeah, he is moving too. So you're stuck with us, jabronis. No, what else you got going on before we get out of here?
Rangers all the way. World Series, baby. Malcolm's going down. Malcolm and I teamed up to get this all SGPN final in the World Series, but I'm winning it. Good luck, Mal.
I'm pulling for the Rangers. Bochy, baby. Bochy magic. Go check out the college football experience. Pick shows tomorrow night. It's always a riot. It's always great. Go check out the FCS experience for all you mid-majors in college basketball. If you got a football program, Colby's covering over at the FCS. Go check out the Big 12, the best damn league in the damn land, baby.
100%. For those of you that are watching on YouTube right now or interested in watching on YouTube in the future, Wednesday we're doing Mountain West Conference preview. Thursday we're doing a Pac-12 conference preview. Friday we're doing the Missouri Valley and the NEC, and we might even sprinkle a couple others in throughout this week. So those are the four that are the four that are set in stone to finish out this week.
So we'll be through the O's just by the end of this week?
I think so.
Sweet. Yeah, Mountain West is going to be a good time. And then we'll be on all the S's. Be on all the S's
SEC,
next week.
SoCon, Sun Belt, baby. Let's fucking go.
Fun Belt. And then we get to the
by the way, we have secured 2 guests on so Sun Belt. Lante is going to be on from the NBA Gambling Podcast, the MLB Gambling Podcast.
Nice.
And for the SoCon, Matt Gannon's going to be on. He's written a SEC preview article on the website already, and he is a do-it-all guy for the Golf Gambling Podcast. So just a heads up, those 2 will be guests next week for those 2 conferences.
Can't wait, man. Yeah, and I think that's what's going to be cool this year for everybody. Obviously, Rob is in the chat tonight. We had Rob on the Big Ten, so go check out the Big Ten. My whole crew over at the Big 12, where it was on the Big 12 with Troy and Rush. So,
and NC Nick on the ACC.
And NC Nick is a staple. So, But yeah, you're gonna get to be introduced to new voices this year too. So that's what we're excited about in the college basketball experience. I know people get tired of Colby and I after hearing us for 3 straight months of me, especially me yelling, "Eat shit, fucking Pitt." So
Don't worry.
Go ahead, Noah.
Don't worry. Ryan and Colby are still making their best effort at every night, every pick for every game. But we're gonna sprinkle in a couple of voices. We're working on it behind the scenes, but we're gonna probably do some watch alongs this year, some live streams. We're working out the schedule for opening night. 185 games opening night college basketball. So we'll be there watching it with you guys. That's the plan on YouTube. So we're gonna put it out there into the universe. Hey, opening night. If you only have 3 screens and a phone, put the phone on us, and we'll just be running through all 180.
I might have to move my camera towards the couch. That's what I might need to do.
You might.
Yeah.
I might be in a different location, so I can have more TVs too.
Yep. Well, yeah, like you said, man, we got a lot of good things on this show, and couldn't have done it without you guys last year. The sports, and don't worry, we know where the sport's going to be coming this year to a whole different level. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night, and let's get out of here, Noah Beanick. Go Rangers and let it ride. My fucking light won't work.